Back with us, John Morris Show on a Friday. Pleased to welcome in our World Cup aficionado, Paul Jobson.
Thanks for having me.
Welcome to you.
Sad we're winding down here.
No, I say hey, the door is always open. Okay. You know where we are.
All right.
You show up, we're going to put you on the air.
All right.
Okay.
That sounds great. I'll just pop in.
Yes. And as a parting gift, knowing you might come back at some point, we have a gift for you today.
Oh.
At the Big 12 Media Days, the commissioner was making a big deal of football meets football with the World Cup going on in the Metroplex, and here's Big 12 Media Days. That was a good idea, and so they gave each of us a scarf commemorating the event. Look at that. Big 12 logo, Big 12 Football Media Days. I know you don't have any scarves at home, so I want you
a couple.
I want you to have one more right there.
We'll add that to the collection. Thank you.
How many do you have?
I don't even know. Most of them are Baylor scarves, to be quite honest with you.
Because you did it every year, right?
Every year.
Yeah.
So that's quite a few of those.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So thank you.
You bet. That. Add this to the collection.
Absolutely.
And we appreciate your time again. All right, let's talk about several things to talk about, but we were in the break talking about the picture that has popped up.
Yeah.
Very timely. Apparently it was a UNICEF calendar shoot or a photo shoot 20 years ago with Lionel Messi and who?
Lamine Yamal.
Right, who is the star for Spain.
Correct.
And now those two play each other. So here's the picture.
Yeah.
Isn't that amazing?
It's crazy.
It really is.
Yeah. I think that surfaced a few years ago. When Lamine started to come through Barcelona, because they both, Messi, huge Barcelona player for years, decades. Right. And now Lamine both came through their academy. And so it's crazy now to see these guys facing against each other in a World Cup final.
I know.
Yeah.
So that's out there, and that's a great connection, I guess, as Spain gets set to play Argentina for the World Cup championship.
1 degree of separation. My son has actually met Lamine's mom.
Really?
Yeah. He went to a Barcelona game in Barcelona and had the fortunate opportunity to be in the president's box.
Yeah. Wow.
And met Lamine's mom.
Man.
Yeah. So we're almost in that picture.
You're just like you're there.
Just like we were there.
That's pretty cool. Now that is a great connection.
Yeah.
So what do you think about the matchup? You told us, you tried to tell us Spain was going to be there, and Garrett and I thought France was going to be there, but it is
France
Spain.
was so dominant during the tournament, and they finally met their match. Spain finally, I think, really turned it on against France.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think we've seen the best Spain until we saw the France match.
Wow.
And France met their match. Spain was on point. They were good in every aspect of the game, really shut down France's attack and defended well.
Yeah.
And I think they really showed they were the better team. I think I'd said whoever wins that game will win the World Cup. I still think that's true. Even though it's hard to go against Messi.
Right.
But so Spain looks really, really good right now.
Another shutout.
Yeah.
They still have not given up a goal, right?
They've given up 1 goal.
They've given up one.
No, it wasn't a shutout. France was 2-1, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. France was
2-1.
Yeah,
okay. So that was the first
goal they gave up the
okay.
whole tournament.
Gotcha.
Yep. But 2-1.
Gotcha.
So.
And Argentina over England. What'd you think about that semifinal?
Probably one of the worst games of the World Cup for the first 20 minutes. It was. I almost wanted to turn it off.
Really?
It was really bad. But what was interesting was, and this is the talk. They go up 1-0, and then they really got really defensive. And I don't know if that's coaching. I don't know if it's nerves. I mean, I've said before, England always finds a way to shoot themselves in the foot in the World Cup, unfortunately, and that was their moment.
Wow.
And I think they had the momentum. They were doing really well, but you can never count out Messi. I mean, you saw that, earlier in the tournament, when they were down, 2-0.
Yeah.
And came back and won that match against Egypt.
Yeah.
That's right. So, I don't know. I think they got way too defensive way too early. But I don't think that England was the better team on the day. I would have been surprised if England had actually won that match.
Will the head coach for England, will he be criticized for that strategy?
He is being criticized heavily.
Shocking.
Yeah, really, right? When you win, the players are great. When you lose,
Never
the players are bad. No,
happened.
not at all. When you lose, the coach is bad.
Right.
But he's being criticized. I think it's easy to, after a match, look back and go, why?
Yeah, I guess so.
During the match, he was making decisions. I'm like, I'm not sure why you're doing that, but you should know better, I guess. But it came back and bit him.
Yeah, how about that?
So, he's going to be criticized. I don't know what's going to come of it. He could get sacked, but I don't know. But he got them that far. I thought he did a really good job managing that team through the World Cup, considering I don't think they have some star power, but I don't think that they were one of the better teams in the tournament. So if you look at it that way, I think he did a pretty good job with his team.
Yeah.
and maybe shouldn't have gotten as far as they did. But when you lose the way that you did, and it looks like coaching decisions and poor substitution decisions, that's going to fall heavy on him.
Well, as someone said, England has a 250-year history of not doing well on American soil.
That's
so,
right.
That's
right. Yeah.
What about Garrett and I have been talking about kicking around the third place game.
Yeah.
So the World Cup, they'll have the two semifinal losers play basically for third place on Saturday. That is England and France. First off, is it called the third place game, or how do they refer to that?
I think it's called the third place game.
I mean,
match.
it is.
We call it a match. It's
sure.
Third place match.
Right.
Yeah, I don't think there's a different name for it.
Okay. What's the motivation for these teams?
Man, I don't know. I mean, I think it's, you would hope as professionals that anytime you step on the field, you step on to win. Yeah. There still is pride. I mean, it's better to finish third than to finish fourth.
Huge pride.
And I would hope that those players would step on the field with that motivation. You've missed an opportunity to play in a World Cup final, but you are still playing. You are playing for something. Yeah. I think I would hope that they'd step up. You're looking at two of the best teams in the world still playing in a match. You hope that it's a fun match to watch.
Right.
But then you weigh in. Are they worried about injury? Does the game really matter?
Yeah.
All those things kind of play in. But I'll be watching and I'll be curious to see what kind of match we really get. I think it probably won't be a match. I think France should really dominate the game. Yeah. They should be the better team. But again, in that kind of match, what are you really getting?
Yeah. Is it a matter of whose bubble was burst worse? Like how deflating was their semifinal loss? And can they get up to play again?
Yeah, I think what motivates you? Yeah. What are you playing for? I know when Marcy was in the 2007 World Cup, they played in a third place match. And there was some controversy around all that. And you can look back and read the history, but some of the players were really motivated. They didn't want to lose again, and I think there's some pride for your country. There's some pride for just being the best player you can be when you step on a field. I think that should be the mentality. But again, it's a totally different world, different league than what I'm used to.
I got you. Did they win? Did the U.S. women win?
They did.
Okay. So they were motivated enough to get that win.
Correct. Yeah. Third place. I mean, the third best team in the world and the greatest soccer tournament in the world. That's a pretty good place to be.
I would say so. Something I've never seen written about, and I haven't asked you until just now, what's the monetary reward for these guys, for these teams?
It's pretty massive. And I don't know the exact numbers, but it's a very significant amount of money.
I think so.
And then a lot of these guys, because they have their own personal contracts, they're getting tons of money just from their, from Nike or Adidas or all the other things they get. The further they go, the more money they're getting from their sponsors and whatnot. So the monetary piece of it is massive. And then the interesting thing I read is that in the U.S., at least, from the U.S. side, the better the men did, the more the women got paid. The women actually will get paid out of the success of the men's team this year. So when Emma forms her team for the World Cup next year, once that team is finalized, I think each of the women get like $250,000 or something because of where the men went this year.
So that I kind of remember that back in my mind. That's just happened in the last couple of years, hadn't it?
Yeah, within the last year or two.
Yeah.
Equal pay type of thing.
Great.
So shared revenue, and I would assume that would flip the other way as well. But I bring that up just to say, if the women are getting $250,000 from the men making the 16 or so,
16.
Who can't imagine the millions that these other guys are making a final.
Yeah. There's a lot of money there.
A lot of money being thrown around there.
What do you think about, I think about the fans of these teams, especially the two, Argentina and Spain in the championship. They may have been over here for a month or more. And I'm over here in the United States, but then having to travel to all these sites and the money there and the money for tickets. I mean, that's a huge investment by these fans.
Yeah, it's quite a holiday.
I would say
over there to here for a month, and just you're right. The amount of money they're spending, the travel, but I think an experience that they're never going to forget. That they with their team, especially when your team does that well. There are zero regrets. I think for any of those folks who are traveling to do that. And they may be broke when they go back, but zero regrets.
Yeah, and it's every 4 years, so maybe they save up for 4 years for the World Cup.
Yeah, I would think that would be the case. You're saving and saving so that you can take probably yourself or your family or whoever it may be over there. But the amount of time and just away from work and probably some of your family, just to experience that.
That's
pretty incredible.
All right, so how do you think the championship match plays out on Sunday?
This is tough because huge Messi fan in our household.
Okay. Your boys going to be wearing Messi jerseys?
They'll probably be wearing the Messi's Barcelona jerseys.
Okay. And you were just in Spain.
Just in Spain.
That's right.
So we are Spain fans, but we are Messi fans. So we feel like we can't lose as a family.
Okay.
It's a win-win for us. But I think Spain's the better team. But it's really hard to go against Messi and what he can do and how he can change a match.
Yeah.
And I mean, even in the semifinal, he didn't score, but he set up both goals.
Yeah.
I mean, he was the reason they won the match.
Right.
And so it's really hard to count him out. And not that he doesn't have a ton of talent around him. Obviously, he has to. But I think on paper, Spain's the better team. I think Spain comes away with it. But again, it's just so hard to say that knowing that Messi's on the other side.
That's true.
And also, this could be Messi's last World Cup. I'd love for him to go out with another World Cup trophy. And he is the greatest of all time. I don't think there's any argument about that anymore. There's no one even close to him.
Yeah.
But I would love for him to finish that out with a World Cup trophy. But it's going to be a tough match for him.
That's wild. So y'all in your household, you can't lose.
Can't lose.
Whoever wins, everything's going to be
There are
good.
a lot of FC Barcelona players on that field. In the final.
Okay.
That's our team.
Yeah.
So we really can't lose.
Nice. Very good. Garrett, did you have anything for Paul?
I was just thinking about in the Messi situation, he's 39, right?
Yeah.
And we see players in football, really quarterbacks that are still playing to late in their 40s. Is there a realistic chance? Could he come back, stay with Miami and kind of be on the roster to keep it, not necessarily be a feature guy night in and night out, but still be back for another World Cup?
Yeah, I don't know. I thought this year in the World Cup that he would be, kind of a role player for Argentina. I thought he'd come in, he'd get some minutes. He'd obviously be, a great player with, minimum, but he's played I think almost every minute of every game. For him to do that again in another 4 years, I think would be an incredible feat. Could he come back in that role player role? I think maybe, but again, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'd love to see him play for it, but then you worry about, the guys who hang on too long.
Yeah.
Kind of ruin, their glow or whatever you want to call it.
Right.
I'd love for him to kind of, if he wins this weekend, I'd love for him to just kind of walk away from that, keep playing, for Miami or whatever. But I'd love for him to kind of retire on top.
So, all right, going back to the pitcher, I was curious about this. Can you try to put this into American sports terms of what this would be the equivalent to with Messi in this pitcher?
Yeah. So what's crazy with Messi and Lamine Yamal, right? That's what we're talking about.
Right.
They both played in La Masia, which is the youth academy for Barcelona. Obviously not at the same time.
Okay.
And that picture you saw from UNICEF was a pro player, Messi at Barcelona, and the baby, who both went through that academy. The crazy thing is, I think I look at it probably more football. If you've got a young Mahomes and a Troy Aikman.
Oh, that's good.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Two guys that are a young guy who was really good young and a guy that was a legend forever.
Yeah.
Playing on the same field together.
That's good.
I mean, that's kind of what you're looking at.
That's awesome.
And it really is the end of an era with Messi kind of probably phasing out of the game, and the guy that we think will be the next with Lamine Yamal. But I think, the argument in my house is, will Lamine be the next GOAT? And I think it's too early to say.
Yeah.
There's some things about him as a young player that I don't like.
He's 20 years old. Is that right?
He just turned 19.
19.
Yeah. During the World Cup, he turned 19.
Wow.
So he's young. We'll see how his maturity, how he handles all the celebrity and all that stuff. But from a maturity standpoint, that's the one thing about Messi is that he's not a flashy guy. He just goes out, does his job. He's not about the publicity and the media. He just goes out and he's a great soccer player and does, great things within the community. So he's a fun player to watch and to support just as a human being. And jury's out on Lamine right now.
I know there was a lot of blowback, or I've seen some blowback on Holland getting pulled out when he was pulled out in that game.
Yeah.
What were your thoughts on that situation and that decision to take him out as early as they did?
Yeah, I don't think you take your best players out. You leave your best players on the field. As my dad would say, you dance with the one you brought.
Right.
So I was curious about that as well. I hate to say I didn't agree with the decision, but I don't think you take your best players out. Unless there's a massive injury or there's some kind of reason, you leave your best players on because he's a guy that he's going to score a goal. You just have to believe. At some point, he's gonna score a goal. When you need him to.
He's on the bench,
but he's not going to score if he's on the bench.
Yeah.
Exactly. So
Very cool. Well, great information. We appreciate it. You have filled this role perfectly. Tell Marcy when the Women's World Cup comes around, we're going to give her a call.
She'll do it.
Okay.
She'll do it.
You never step away from soccer completely. The Warrior Way. How are things going there?
Great. We just finished our summer camp yesterday. So we did a 4-day camp during the summer, and then we are ramping up for our fall season, which is Monday nights from 5 to 6 o'clock. Registration's open for that. It's 6 weeks for Monday nights for 6 weeks, starting I think in September when school starts back. Back in September or something like that. We'll start that up again. So that's going on, and then Atletico Dallas U Central Texas is ramping up. Practices are starting this week. Teams are formed, and we're rolling out. Our young kids are always taking. We're always taking our young kids ages 5 to 10 are welcome to come out really anytime. If anybody's interested, they can reach out about that too. So soccer. All the time.
Nice. Yeah. WarriorWay.org?
WarriorWaySoccer.com.
Okay, I wasn't even close.
WarriorWaySoccer.com.
Ignore what I said. Yeah. WarriorWaySoccer.com is the website for all the information. That's cool. All right, man. Appreciate you. Thanks very much.
Yep.
All right. Thanks for all your expertise. Enjoy another scarf.
Yes, thank you.
Marcy's going to say, another scarf.
They're not in the house.
They're not.
They're in their office in the back.
Gotcha. Thank you very much. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Paul Jobson, our World Cup soccer aficionado. He's picking Spain to win on Sunday, but conflicted because of Messi on the opposing side. All right, we'll take a break. Come back, wrap things up, look ahead. Stay with us. John Morris Show, brought to you by the Brazos Landing. You like the Brazos Landing?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's a
absolutely
great place. Oh, it's a great place. Brought to you by the Brazos Landing and by Alliance Bank, Central Texas. And we'll be right back.
The Pete Souza Show, Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. You want to talk NFL draft? I don't know. How about we get you Todd McShay? You want to talk Big 12? We can get you the commission.